Cheers. This is Adoo from Space Kamp. I'm with my friends Dro TV. I had a blast talking about grass. There's nothing better. Peace and love. Make sure you break rules and spread love all day. Yeah.
Welcome to My First Time, the show about your first time getting high on marijuana. I'm your host, Mike Freeman with Dro TV. Today, I'd like to welcome our guest, Adoo.
I never met a girl like this before. I never met a girl like this before. I never met a girl like this before.
Doobie from Space Kamp. What's happening?
Cheers. Cheers, man. Cheers. How are you today? Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you
you're
for having
welcome.
me.
Cheers to you, my friend. You can find more of Space Kamp on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, as well as spacecamp420.com. It's camp with a K. We'll have all the links down below. So Adoo, thanks again for giving us some time today. Let everybody know where
Thank
you're
you.
located and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was born in Philadelphia. I grew up in outside of Philadelphia in the Montgomery County area. I moved out to the Allentown area where I met Oskee and how Space Kamp started. I'm now currently a Florida resident, so I'm living out right outside of Clearwater, Florida. So I don't like to say, yeah, I live in Florida because I just moved here, so it doesn't even feel like I'm still in like that vacation kind of, it's not really, hasn't really set in, just not even a year here. So,
Okay.
but yeah, right now I'm based out of Florida. My partner is still in Pennsylvania. So I'm kind of, I'm not quite a snowbird because I'm a definite resident, but I'm back and forth every month still,
No
so.
doubt. Any plans for him to move down or?
That's fingers crossed, man.
Okay. Nice.
Fingers crossed. He was here. He was here last week. We had a couple of shows, and I took him out to the beach up the street from my house, and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, man, I'm here every other day looking at the sunset." So
Yes.
I was trying to talk him into it. We'll see what happens.
Nice. I know it's getting cold up there, some snow soon. He'll be thinking about what you were saying pretty soon,
Yes,
So
yes.
cool. So dude, the show is My First Time. Definitely want to talk more about Space Kamp because we're excited to see you guys in November at Cannabis. But yeah, the show is My First Time. So please let us know about the first time you got high.
So it's wild. I was thinking about this last night, and because I was trying to pinpoint. It's so crazy. Like sometimes you try to like certain things like really stand out to you, and it's interesting. The story that I remember more isn't it's the first time I witnessed and saw, right? And so I'll tell you about the first time I got high, but I remember the very first time. The most thing I remember vividly is before 9/11. People could just go right up to the gate, at an airport. You could just kind of, meet the person that was coming off the plane, or you could
Sure.
say goodbye to your loved one. And back then, it wasn't abnormal for a parent to like bring their kid to the ticket booth, and the stewardess bring the plane on, and you go, and the kid fly by himself, right? And it seems mad now, but when I was a kid, my brother lived in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and my mom sent me on a plane to him for the summer, so I could go spend the summer with my brother. And his brother-in-law, I'll never forget, picked us up in his van. One of those vans with the metal floors. I don't know if it even had AC. It was all tools. I remember vividly just like being on a milk crate, sitting on a milk crate. There was no chair, it was tools and stuff. And they started driving. I remember him pulling out this joint, and I didn't know what it was. I probably thought it was a cigarette. And I remember them being like, "Come on, man, you want to smoke?" And I was probably 11 about that, and I was like, "No, no, I'm gonna tell mommy," that type of thing. Um, and but I remember the smell, and I remember like, my brother really kind of explaining like, "Nah, this isn't a cigarette, like this is I don't know what they call it back then, But that's the first time I remember like seeing it. And I remember coming home from that vacation, and then I started to notice, like when I would go to picnics, I started to notice that smell certain places, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of stands out. Funny enough, the first time I got high, you fast forward a few years later, the first time I got high, well, the first thing I did is we thought that Philly blunts, we were here in Cypress Hill and Redman talking about Philly blunts, and so naive that we like went and got Philly blunts and like smoked them, like got a fucking head high,
Yeah,
from
sure.
like from smoking tobacco. Um, but yeah, and then I remember, buying grass at the food court, and this kid like sold me a joint for $10, and I was scared to smoke it. But the first time I remember actually smoking grass was my dear friend in New Jersey, right outside of Camden, New Jersey. We were in the basement, rolled up a Philly blunt, some dirty Camden swag, just some nasty weeds, probably seeds and sticks. And I remember just getting stoned out of our minds, and just listening to music, freestyling and writing graffiti, and just like just being totally open, and just totally consumed with the cannabis culture almost instantly, which was easy to do at that time because, like I said, we were very much into like Cypress Hill and Redman, and so the music was representing the cannabis culture, and I was a kid, and it was a beautiful thing.
Nice. I love it. So is that, I mean, your music, it's psychedelic, it's reggae, it's hip hop. Um, is that what you kind of grew up on, was hip hop, or a variety of all musical genres?
Well, I grew up on every different kind of music. My father, funny enough, like my father had like three different artists that he had a box of cassettes. He had Frank Sinatra. He had this Christian singer named Patti Smith. And I don't know why I remember that. And then he had Bob Marley. And he was a real religious guy, my pop, and he loved Bob Marley, not necessarily for any cannabis talk, because my pop didn't smoke cannabis. But so Bob Marley was always like my very like kind of my favorite artist when I was a kid. Not even understanding way before any ganja or understanding anything like that. Just the sound and the message and the beauty behind it. And I grew up, I was heavy into the punk rock scene and hip hop scenes. Hip hop was the first that I was attempting to make music myself. Like that I thought that I could. I never like was able to play an instrument. I never tried to, and being trying to be an MC, being young, I was first in the graffiti first, and then that kind of got into MCing and like wanting to be a rapper. Um, but reggae was always like probably my favorite music, that I listened to off stage. I just never had, I guess, the um, confidence, to try to sing. I
Sure.
didn't have the confidence to try to do anything outside of just like, rap, But as I got older, and as we kind of grow into ourselves, and we understand that like honesty is like actually the best policy, and being yourself is cool and it's okay. Then it's when these things kind of came into play of us like actually creating that art.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so let's talk a little bit about Space Camp.
Mhm.
How did you and Oskee meet up, and what are your, it's just the two of you, so what's your role in Space Camp? What's, I guess, instruments, or what you provide
Yeah.
Space Camp?
So we got together in 2017. Um, I had been we had both been doing music separately. I had been was a long time like solo artist, and did a lot of touring and like tour managing and all that kind of stuff. So I was pretty well traveled, and I met Oskee. He comes from a family of extremely amazing musicians. So we met. I thought Oskee was phenomenal. He was in a group at the time. When I met him, I was working with a small independent label out of Philadelphia called Sensi Star, and I was kind of like telling my buddy, "Hey man, this kid Oskee is really he's really dope." And we kind of got to know each other a little bit. Um, and I realized that he like lived like 3 or 4 blocks from my house. So it's funny, it's like Cannabis and psychedelics was like this like kind of bond beyond music that we had. So like we talked music first and foremost, but we were smoking a joint, and then we talking about mushrooms and things like that. It's like, oh shit, he lives 3 blocks away. We start with walking distance, so we became really good friends. And we just that was kind of it. Like, we was kind of off to the races from then. When we first started the group, it was more of like a collective. There was another person in the group, and we were really aiming more to do a kind of stony, like Beastie Boys, Cypress Hill almost kind of thing, where we were kind of interacting, going back and forth, and it was very high energy. And we put out a record, and then we went on tour. And we went on tour. That's when you really get to know somebody. You're in a hotel with them, you're in a van driving around for 11 hours a day. So Oskee and I just started to really, really bond, on a whole nother level, as far as like, he's a father, I'm a father, beyond the cannabis, beyond the psychedelics, beyond the music, just on some like what our goals in life are, the things that we want to manifest, the way that we believe the universe works, and energy works, and these things. And we just really we were really dialed in. And when we came back home from the tour, the other fellow left the group, on his own doing, and just wasn't this wasn't what he signed up for. We started singing, and we started making love songs, and we started like talking about love and talking about this stuff. It wasn't something that Buddy had signed up for, so it was all good. And but we knew what our mission was, and we knew like what we're about, and what we want to bring out. So yeah, it's been kind of off. Like I said, it's been off to the races since then. We've been trucking.
Nice. So the album came out in Butterfly Effect came out in 2020.
No, so Electric Lemonade came out in 2020.
Okay.
And then Butterfly Effect just came out this past June, so 2022. Butterfly Effect came out. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now Rob the Viking, he entirely produced Electric Lemonade. Does he have production credits on
Yeah.
Butterfly Effect as well?
Yeah. So I met Rob in Vancouver many years ago when I was tour managing. He was a producer for a group called Swollen Members.
Yeah.
Back in the day, many people remember Swollen Members. Probably, I would say, like um, kind of the foundation of like Canadian hip hop. Swollen Members and a few other guys, but his production just stands out. It's amazing. We became friends, and we had worked on things, myself and Rob. And when Space Kamp kind of came to fruition, I knew that like Rob would be the guy. So we started talking to Rob, and we told him that we wanted to do all live stuff. We want to have musicians coming in, and we want to, that's our end goal is to be that on stage as well. So he understood the vision, and he's been bringing in different amazing musicians, and yeah, we've been rocking and rolling.
Hey everybody, I want to quickly mention Food Forest Abundance. Food Forest Abundance is a great way to create your own self-sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode.
So yeah, when I saw Rob the Viking's name, I'm like, I know this name because I was a big fan of Battle Axe and
Yeah, man.
Swollen Members and Buck 50. I don't know if you ever.
Of course, yeah, man.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn, and I mean, that's great. I hadn't heard his name in a while, so it's great that he's still out there and doing all different kinds of production. So where does he live at? Is he? I thought he was from Philly actually, but he's not.
No, yeah, no. He's from Vancouver. He's
Okay.
from Vancouver, Canada. Yeah. Himself, Prevail, and Madchild were who Swollen Members was. So collectively, I've toured with all those different guys. You know, they're all the buddies. You know.
Nice. That's awesome. I've been a hip hop DJ for like over 20 years. I got a small label. I'm from Massachusetts, so I got a small label from Massachusetts, and
Oh, amazing, man.
yeah. So I'm big into the scene. I know somewhat about the tour life. It's not for everybody. So yeah, like you said, you definitely find out who a person is when you spend 10 days sleeping on floors and
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of my very favorite people in the music industry that I've ever been around or worked with is from Boston, man. Slane. I don't know if you know Slane, but yeah, I did a Canadian tour with Slane, and man, one of the most solid stand-up guys in the game for sure, man. Shout out to Slane. That's my guy.
Yeah. I've met Slane a couple times, and yeah, pretty much everybody likes Slane. And dude's put in his he's put in his time for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Good guy.
He was outside shows hustling his CDs way back mid 2000s, late 2000s. So and then I mean, I'm a big fan of Special Teams and La Coca
Of
Nostra.
course, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
right, man. Adoo was a friend and had some really good times in Mass, man. Some good times in Boston. Played some really fun shows in Boston, man. The Middle East is a fucking rad venue.
Yeah.
There's a couple other places and played in Cambridge and that's rad.
Paradise?
Cool.
Ever play at the Paradise?
I don't think I ever played the Paradise. I played is it Middle no
The Middle East is in Cambridge.
It's a Middle East, and then I played in there's another spot, man. I'm the worst with names. I played in Boston a bunch of times. Or good times.
Yeah, a bunch of them have changed names. Like Harper's Ferry used to be one of the big ones, and then I think it's since changed names. But so are you a keyboard guy? Are you a guitarist? Are you vocal?
No, man. We just songwriters. You know, we just write songs and just front men. You know, lead. You know, both lead and that's it, man. We just, I'd like to get into, I bought somewhere around here. I got an acoustic guitar, and I keep promising myself but I don't know. I think it's my fingers. It's the excuse that I gotta get the chubby fingers, But but yeah, Oskee on the other hand, he played the piano when he was young. And right now in the group, we're both just we're just both vocalists, but O could definitely like see his way around like a keyboard and a drum kit. He's just a musically talented guy,
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've listened to some of the music. I definitely got to check out the full albums and get the front to back full listen. So you guys have dropped 2 albums so far: the Electric Lemonade, Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and like I said, when we first got started, we had a record called Terpene Station that we released, and that's still available out there. We had a couple of joints on there that did well.
Nice.
That so yeah, man. That's how we got we had a record on the first one called Stoner Chick, and that was kind of like really helped us out even before we put anything out. Kind of helped us because High Times picked it up, and then it kind of helped us get on the road, and kind of helped a couple different promoters kind of reach out and stuff like that, because we had some early press before we were ever had a release, you know. So
Nice. And
yeah,
your
it
most
definitely was.
recent album, The Butterfly Effect, it debuted on Billboard, #7 reggae album.
Yeah, it debuted on Billboard at number 7, and it debuted on iTunes at number 9 on the chart. So, and it's a blessing, you know. We're not you know, uh, our main goal is to be able to get out and be on the stage in front of people and connect with people. So if like it gets on the charts or anything like that, if that helps that cause, then that's rad. You know what I mean? And it's definitely cool. But I don't know, like, you know, we don't put as much stock, I think, into it as maybe other people do. You know, because at the end of the day, I believe that anybody can manifest and do those things, right? Like it's like it's not like this, like, oh my god type of deal, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. So it's a blessing, but we definitely trying to kind of keep our head down, and like our sleeves rolled up and keep working, you know, because you only have so much time to be able to go out and do the things that you love. You know, we're not promised tomorrow. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a great accomplishment. You can be thankful for you know, the accolades, but yeah, there's still work to do. You can go back through I love going back through like 80s Billboard hits and seeing like who the #1 album was, the #1 song, and it's like
exactly,
no one would ever know who this person is. I don't even know where
exactly,
this person is, you know. Um,
exactly, yeah.
so not to
Like when you
downplay because you know,
No, not at all, man. Like, you know, as artists, I think we should be really proud of every, you know, every accomplishment. Like, you know, like we don't sleep on anything, man. You know, if you know, 10 new people follow tomorrow, we're like thankful for those 10 new people.
yeah.
So everything is a win. You know what I mean? Everything is on the positive is, um, but yeah, like I think, like, you start like kind of like putting too much stock into that. Like I think that you get lost in the mix and you're doing it for the wrong reason at that point, you know? So
Can you talk a little bit about Rebel Hippie community?
yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for asking about yeah, Rebel Hippies started off very organic. Um we have been asked to do a rolling paper kind of you say like a licensing kind of deal, the
Okay.
rolling papers. And we thought it would be really lame to like have like the name, just like here's like, oh, the Adoo rolling papers. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, yeah.
kind of cheesy. And so Rebel Hippies is like just something that was a phrase that like was said in songs for years, for over a decade, that when we've been talking like Rebel Hippies, before Space Kamp, before anything, that was just kind of like talking in songs. And so we thought it would be cool. And yeah, we went out on the road with just those papers. And then we went back out on the road the next time around, and like heads were had like the Rebel Hippies logo like tattoo, and they were bringing artwork and all this kind of crazy
Wow.
stuff. There's a bunch of stuff behind me. And So it was like, wow, like people are really connecting with like, it's something bigger than like, and because I think it wasn't like our like, it wasn't like Space Kamp. It was like, this is something that we all are. Then it became something that's everybody's, so we looked at it like, um, let's make a card and not charge anybody for it. It's free. But then this way, everybody who's connecting anyway can all be kind of connected. You know what I mean, on that level. And so yeah, so people can get the card or not, doesn't matter. But if people choose to, they can go online. We send them so, a card that has a QR code. So if you're part of the Rebel Hippies community, you always get discounts at the shows. You get early access to music, early access to videos, and a lifetime discount on merchandise, and some exclusive stuff that we do only for like Rebel Hippies community members. Shows we do like early, like Rebel Hippie, people can they can come through the sound check, stuff like that. Like we just try to really connect on like a friend level and a family level, and it's just a dope way to do it. So we're super proud of like what it's kind of like becoming its own thing. It's rad.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I like the idea behind that. And obviously other people like it too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
When we
That's
started
fantastic.
recording, you broke out the bong. You still got the bong?
Yeah, man.
What
I'm smoking some
yeah,
banana soda.
what you smoking
Show
on?
you.
What you got packed in there? Banana soda?
Yeah, some banana soda. This is it's from Satara Wellness. Show a little bit of that. It's nice. It's an indica. I know the camera's over on that side
Yeah,
there.
there you go. Perfect. Okay.
Some nice bud. Yes, sir. And I'm smoking out of this Token Tools. This was gifted to us last week in Tampa. This is a really dope company out of Tampa. Just goes right on the mason jar, man. And I got a bunch of other bonds, and I've been kind of using this thing nonstop.
Sweet. Shout out
Yeah.
to Token Tools.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Well, dude, it's been awesome chatting with you. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys, hopefully meeting you guys in November at the Cannabis. Definitely stop by the booth if you get a chance. So we can
Sure.
take some pictures, give you guys some free promo. Yeah, digging the vibes. So
Bless.
let everybody know the best place that they can find you and more Space Kamp.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. On Instagram, we're at Space Kamp. And on every other outlet, we're at Space Kamp 420. Camp is with a K, and our website is spacecamp420.com. You can go to rebelhippies.com as well if you want to check out the community. Yeah, man, we thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, make sure you go down there, smash the like button for Space Kamp. Some dope music, so definitely go check that out as well. And make sure you subscribe to Dro TV, because otherwise you'd miss amazing guests like Adoo and awesome interviews like this one. So appreciate it, my friend. That's all we have for today. Everybody tuned in, thank you so much. And as always, like my man here, smoke them if you got them. What's up, Dro TV family? You can now stream the audio version of all these episodes on your favorite podcast player. And if you like more episodes like this, check out this playlist we put together over here for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't want to miss more great content from Dro TV. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, smoke them if you got them.